We've been hearing from Brooke Masters, opinion and analysis editor with the Financial Times, on how you can cut through the clutter of a busy journalist's inbox and make sure that your op-ed gets noticed.
When I get an email from someone I don't know, I need to know a couple of things to decide whether I'm even remotely interested in what they have to say. First of all, I need to know, why are they writing? What special expertise do they have? And why are they writing now? I don't want, 5 paragraphs about this. I want 3 sentences. I am the world's great expert on Queen Elizabeth's jewelry, and I'm writing now because some diamond has just been stolen. I also need to know, what is it that this piece is going to argue? Ideally, you don't say, I want to write about diamonds. You want to say, I think all diamonds should be burnt. You make an argument rather than a statement. The other thing we need to know is that you understand the format of what we're doing. So you need to say, I'm writing an opinion piece, I am an expert, and I have written a research paper that you can link to, but don't send me the research paper. I don't want to read it. The opinion pieces that generally don't work for a couple of really obvious reasons. One, they don't make an argument. They make statements, or they are descriptive rather than saying, I have a policy prescription. They also are filled with jargon. They use lots and lots of abbreviations or acronyms and often use terms that nobody understands outside of their field. The other mistakes that are quite common are very complicated sentence structures that are difficult to follow. The final thing that happens, which is hard, you want opinion pieces to be newsy, but you don't want 17 pieces about the same subject. So let's say you're an expert on negotiations and you want to write about Donald Trump and the North Korean president. There are probably 12 other people also writing about that. So making a pitch 2 weeks after, when everybody else has already written about it, is going straight into the trash can. The fundamental problem for researchers is you're an expert. What you do, you are fundamentally interested in. Our readers are on their phones on the subway. They need to understand why it is they're reading about this now, and they also don't understand why what you're doing is important. So when you are writing your op-ed, it needs 2 things. It needs a news hook. Why now? I'm an expert in negotiations, and I have advice for Donald Trump as he goes to meet the Chinese premier. That's got a clear news hook. The other thing it needs is what I always call the nut paragraph, the why do I care? This research is important because, and you need to explain to someone who has never heard of it, doesn't know anything about your field, and really doesn't care unless you make it compelling. I often tell people to think about being at a dinner party. You're sitting at a dinner party and the person next to you is, say, a social work professor. She's really smart. She just doesn't know anything about your field, which let's say is biology. So when she turns to you and says, what are you doing these days? What would you say to her? And that will help the reader, because fundamentally the reader is a dinner party guest who's never met you.